Okay, today I'm going to show you how to rebuild a mixture control solenoid. I'm sure you've heard this discussed on the forums several times on Team Swift. This is what we're referring to. Mixture control solenoid. MCS, if you will. First of all, what I like to do is remove both the O-rings from the bottom here and the top. Obviously these have already been removed, but remove them. Second of all, I like to check these to make sure there's resistance. Anything between, they say 25 to 50. I like to see mine around the 40 range. They seem to work better when they're in the 40 range. Don't ask me why, I really don't know, but that's just the way it is. So what you want to do is turn your meter on, set it to the 2K scale or the 200 scale. It really doesn't matter. I set mine to the 2K scale. Doesn't matter which side you use, positive to negative, negative to positive. You want to check the resistance. 40 on the dot. Can't complain with that. It's great. So I know that means that there's resistance in the coil here. Good. So that way we can continue. If there's no resistance in this, let's say it's open, 0, or is lower than 20 or higher than 50, just discard it. It's no good. And try to find you another one. If you can't find you another one, well, they can still be bought, very expensive, and good luck if it's the right one. We've heard stories of people buying these from carburetor rebuilding manufacturers and they're not even the same one. Or actually have to modify the carburetor to get the ones that they send to fit, and you'll never achieve the gas mileage you're looking for. This is the heart. This is the key to that magic 50 miles per gallon. This is it, guys. So first of all, what you're going to have to do is remove the bottom jet and the top jet. We'll start with the top jet. You can start with the bottom. It's completely up to you. I like to start with the top. These jets are held in with red Loctite, so you must heat them up to remove them. As you'll notice, there's a raised lip on the top here and a raised lip on the bottom. These are mounting points. So you want to take your vise and snugly vise them down on those raised mounting points. Now we're going to heat them up. To heat them up, I'm going to use a torch. So, of course, obviously, light your torch. Now you don't have to crank this thing up to 1,000,000 degrees. Just want a nice, steady, slow, low burning flame. Anything higher than that, you risk damaging the coil inside here. So what you want to do is take your screwdriver that fits perfectly on this. Make sure that it fits snugly, and there's no, because you don't want to damage this jet, okay? Before we begin removing this off, I like to mark my jet so I can count the rotation out. This is very important. You want to count how many turns it takes to remove this jet. Or you can use a micer. And what you can do is you can measure between the bottom lip, the mounting lip, or the vise point here to the top of the jet. If I can get this to like so. And that's exactly, I would say, read this. 1 3/4 of an inch from that top bottom, or from mic to mic, exactly 1 inch. Never had one do that before. But anyways, exactly 1 inch from the top of this jet to the bottom of the mounting point, if you want to get all detailed. The easier way to do it is to take and find a marking spot. You can see where this jet is notched out for a screwdriver. Pick a side, doesn't matter which side. Mark it. I'm going to mark this one here on this side. And if you can't mark it, you can always take, yes, a hacksaw. Be gentle here. mark the top of the jet and the side of the housing so you can line these back up. Just like so. Now you can't see it in this video, but you'll see a notch on the base and a notch on the jet, and they line up. So now I can count the rotations out. So I'll put it back in the vise. Now start heating this all the way around. Do not focus on one spot. Do not use a lot of heat, and don't hold it on one area for too long. It will take some time, and sometimes you really got to get them warm for them to come out, especially if they've never been taken apart. This one hasn't, so it's going to take some time. Alright, now once you start to get it a little warm, you want to start to try to back the jet out by slowly turning it. Go all the way around it, and eventually it will get loose. Let's try that again. Get a little tighter on the vise here. All the way around. There we go. It's starting to turn. This one's being difficult here. Now that I got it to turn, I'm going to count the rotations out. 1. It's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. 4 turns. Wow, 4 turns on the dot. So top jet, 4 turns. 4 turns. So now once you get the jet out, remove the fuel control solenoid from the base. Your hand out, and you're going to get a plunger. Set this to the side for a second. It's a plunger. Push rod. That's all there is on the top. Now we're going to focus on the bottom. Again, I'm going to mark my jet and my base and my jet. So now I can count the turns out. Put it back in the vise. Tight. Not tight enough to crush it. You want it to be snug. Change screwdrivers, obviously, because it's a smaller jet. You notice that I've kind of personalized this one. The edges to fit perfectly in this jet. So now I want to heat it up. Again, this can take some time. Just be patient. Keep warming it up all the way around. Just keep moving it. Eventually, it will come out. You don't want to focus on one spot too long because you can damage. Okay. There it goes. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So write this down, bottom, jet, 5 turns. Okay, remove this, be careful, it's going to be hot. Take it in your hand, you're going to get a spring and a plunger. I'm going to remove this plunger and the spring. Set it to the side. Let this cool off. And what you can do in here, there's not much you can do on the inside of these. What I like to do is take some throttle body cleaner, spray in there, hold the finger on the bottom, spray a little bit in there, kind of shake it up, let it sit for a few minutes if you like, a few seconds, whatever you feel like, and then just blow it out with some compressed air. This is where the fun part begins. This is very, very, very important. This is a rubber pad on top of this plunger. Okay? You do not, absolutely do not want to mess with this rubber pad. So what you want to do is you want to clean this part here. This one's actually very clean, which I'm very surprised. Most of the time they're black. So what you want to do is take a Dremel or a polisher, with a nice soft, this is very soft, cotton wheel here. And you're going to polish these. You're going to polish it down until there's no more black left on this. Okay? Never touch the side or the top of this rubber plunger. It's very important. This is the part that goes against the jet. It causes so that no air can get through in this case. Okay? Clean this up really, really good. Once this is clean, all you have to do is take your finger and rub very gently 3 or 4 times on the top of that rubber pad. That's all you really need to do. Cleans it up. Okay? The second part is the very part, is the bottom. It's exactly like the top, but smaller. Okay? You see where the plunger rod goes inside here, and this top here is where the rubber pad is. Again, this here, you just want to clean it up lightly with your finger or whatever. Just make sure there's no carbon buildup, and do not touch that rubber pad on the top. It's very vital. Never touch that rubber pad. And all you want to do with this rubber pad is take your finger and rub it 3 or 4 times. And that's it. Push rod. Same thing as the plunger. You want to buff it with a buffing wheel. Make sure you get all the carbon off of it. Make sure it's not bent, any rough spots or chafing on it. You want it nice and smooth. The spring is self-explanatory. You'll know if it's damaged or not. Don't try to, a lot of guys like to just pull these out and get, no, don't do that. Just leave it alone. Make sure it's clean. Give it a little pull. Make sure it's got a good spring to it. It's great. Good job. So now we're going to put this back together after we cleaned all these parts. Okay? I'm going to start with the bottom. Okay? So put it in here. Vise. Nice and snug. Okay. I'm going to take your stopper and your spring. Now you want to slide the spring over the top of the part that has the rubber pad on it. So you want to slide the spring over the top of the rubber pad. Very simple. And just drop it down inside. Very simple. Take your jet. Couple drops of red Loctite, doesn't take much. Line it up with the mark that I made with my pen to the mark that's on the base. Take my screwdriver. I'll count my turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Sometimes they take a little bit to get them in there. Sometimes it doesn't. Now I'm going to flip the control solenoid over. Cinch it back down. I'm going to drop the plunger and the push rod in this. First of all, take the push rod, put it in first. Then take the plunger, rubber side up, drop it inside the fuel control solenoid with the rubber side up. You can take a pen or a screwdriver or whatever and kind of give it a little push and make sure it pops back up when you push it down. Then I'm going to take some more Loctite. Doesn't take much. A couple drops. I'm going to take my mark that I have here, line it up with my mark that I have here. Take my screwdriver. I'm going to count. 1 turn. 2 turns, 3 turns, and 4 turns. And that's it. Very simple. Cleaned it out. I'm going to take my 9-volt battery and I'll check to make sure it clicks. I don't know if you can hear this. Nice solid, nice click. Now I'm going to verify with my multimeter again that we're still in range. Perfect. And that's it, guys. That's how you rebuild a fuel control solenoid. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.